Hi there, this is Julie with PhotoFabPaperFlowers, and thank you for watching. We're going to create a much smaller flower, about 1.5 inches, and what we call them here at PhotoFabPaperFlowers is a micro flower. So it's smaller than your traditional flower, ranging from like 2.5 inches to 4. So you're going to cut everything according to the image at the beginning of this video. And we are using the Chrysanthemum Mini Flower Bundle. And for this flower, we're using petal number 1, which is our widest petal, our center, and our sepal. They all come with the bundle. You're going to set it up in your machine's design space and then cut it according to that document. Also linked in the description below is a link to a PDF instruction document that has the sizes and written instructions for you as well. And that's available on in my Facebook group, PhotoFab Paper Flower Makers. And it is linked from my Facebook page. So thank you again for watching. We're going to go ahead and get started. So for our sepal, we're going to use a piece of 18 gauge floral stem wire. And you're going to roll the petal. I like to come in at an angle, pinch around it. So it'll have a nice significant curl. Now I am right-handed, so my curl will always come in from the right side. I like it to have that little bit of an angle. You're going to flip it over. And we're going to use our piercing scoring tool on our flower shaping mat. This is available from Dollar Tree, and this is the wider one. There's 2 of them that come in a pack for $1.25. Or at this time is $1.25. We're going to take a piece of 18 gauge floral stem wire. We're going to place it in between our needle nose pliers. We're going to bend it around like a hook, or a shepherd's hook as I call it. You're going to place it back in between the needle nose pliers, and you're going to close that loop and then straighten it out. Place it back in between the needle nose pliers and bend it 90 degrees like a corner. Now I cut mine down because these are much smaller flowers, and I didn't need to use that much of my wire. Now I'm going to add glue to the underside of my loop, and we're going to attach it to our sepal. And we're just going to set that to the side. For our center, we're going to take our bone folder, and you can very carefully, holding it at the end, we're just going to pull it to shape it. Now these are quite small, so if you feel you're not getting enough curl, you can take the second to smallest metal ball stylus tool and just pull it towards you, so it'll curl the center. Okay, I do offer the metal ball stylus tools and flower shaping mats and dowel rods and other paper flower tools in my Etsy shop, which is also linked down in the description below. We're going to thread our center onto our slotted quilling tool, and you're going to roll it towards you, and we're going to secure the end with hot glue. Okay, and then I'm going to press down from the top a little bit to give it a little bit of a shape. I call it like a light bulb or bulb. We're going to add a little bit of Vintage Photo Distress Oxide. So it is one of my favorites to use. And this is from the Roses paper pack from Michaels by Recollections. And it is the multicolored rose pack where it's 10 of each color. Just brush on some Vintage Photo just to highlight it. And I continue to use my finger dabbers. And then we take a little bit of ground espresso. I love the combo of these two colors. I rub it on the top. Just to have a little bit extra darkness. Now don't put them away. We're going to continue to use it. You can remove your center, and if it came off in that process, it's okay. We're going to flip our stack of petals over so the largest is on top. So there's two of the largest petal, and our largest petal is 1.5 inches. So these are not very large petals. We're going to take what we call the Julie dowel rod, or skinnier than a 1/8 inch dowel rod. This is the one that is not colored in my dowel rod sets, whether you have the 12 inch or the 6 inch dowel rod set. Place it down, and you're just going to pinch around it just to give it some curl. These don't have a lot of curl to them, just enough. And I'm doing 2 petals at once because they are the same size. I only like to roll petals of the same height or width, whichever one we entered. Okay. Our next two are exactly the same size again. They're 1¼ inches or 1.25. And now we're going to use a piece of 18 gauge floral stem wire. So I always like to keep extra pieces around. Place that floral stem wire down in the middle of the petal and pinch around it. So this one's going to have a little bit more curl to it. We're just going to go all the way around. You do have to have a little bit more patience with our smaller flowers or micro flowers. Okay. And then for our 3 smallest petals, which are at 1 inch wide, we're going to use our metal ball stylus tool, and we're just going to pull down from the top. And that's just going to lift them up. And you want to do this on your flower shaping mat or soft foam mat. Roll the center right where, or roll it right where the petals meet the base to lift that up. So it will look like that from the side. We're just going to go through and do that to our last 2 petals. Doesn't like to turn. Go down from each petal from the top towards the center. Roll right around where the petals meet the base. And that's our styling of the petals. So now we're going to take our 2 largest, I don't like to roll the bottom layer. Sometimes I will. Then we're gonna take our next one. We're gonna take the smallest metal ball stylus tool, roll right where the petals meet the base to lift those petals up. Add some hot glue. Then we're going to look at the top two petals. We're going to look at a petal here and bring it straight down in between. I do like to stand generally when I assemble just to make sure it's even. Take our next two, which are exactly the same size. Roll your metal ball stylus right where the petals meet the base on your flower shaping mat. Oops. Things are flying everywhere. Add some hot glue. Bring the petals down in between your previous layers. And I like to use my metal ball stylus just to make sure they're secure. I am using Gorilla Glue sticks, so it does dry super fast. Add some hot glue. Bring the petals in between the previous layer's petals. Now for the last three, we create our center out. So we're going to take our little tiny center we rolled. Be careful with your fingers. Add some hot glue and a little bit around that base. Be careful. We're going to place it in the center of one of them. And then I'm just going to pull up and around. So squeeze that bottom. And then we add glue again. And a little bit around the sides. Place it in the center. And then pull, press them up and around. Squeeze it at the bottom a little. I do try to get it in between the previous layers, the best you can. I glue on the bottom. And now we're gonna look at one of the side petals and try and get that in between. Right in the center, and then hold it up there just to make sure. Now we glue it into the center here. Add a generous amount of glue. Oh, super shaky tonight, I apologize. Okay, now I'm going to play around with shaping it, but I like to glue it onto my sepal first. So you're gonna add glue to the middle of your sepal. And then I like to come out just a little bit on each petal just to make sure it adheres. And then we're going to press it down. Now, before I shape it, I'm going to add again a little bit of distressing. So I like to use first the vintage photo. So just brush it over each, down the petals, down the sides. And then I also like to come up from the bottom, because if it's in an arrangement, you'll see it from all different directions. And it's just going to highlight the shapes of the petals. You can separate these a little bit in the center. But as you start like adding your ink, it does open up the flower and shape it a little bit more. And then I like to come through again to highlight the tips of the petals with the ground espresso. And now I'm just going to go around and shape it. So I like to pull some petals down. Just check it in all different directions to make sure you're satisfied with the shape. She's a super cute, fun little flower. You can see each one's always a little bit different. So thank you for watching.